What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tradin Jabs. I am Jack Jablonski, and joining me is ESPN anchor, host of The Point, ESPN's weekly hockey-focused show, and the man who kept the NHL's heartbeat alive on ESPN for the last 16 years. John Buccigross, how you doing?
Hello, Jack. Good to be with you. I'm in San Jose, getting ready to call a Sharks game. So, yeah, the added play-by-play to my menu this year for NHL games, and it's been a big thrill.
Well, I mean, as I mentioned in the intro, you're back covering hockey, all things, on The Point, and you're an integral part of ESPN's broadcast for the games. What's it like for you to be back in the hockey world?
It's great. It's nice to have one sport, kind of immerse yourself in one sport and, really focus on that one. I love it. It's been really rejuvenating, reinvigorating, energizing. Yeah, I've been there a long time, over 25 years at ESPN, and to suddenly feel like I'm at day one again. It's really cool just to have a studio show, do play-by-play, get to these different rinks, talk to the players, see them in the hallway before the game or at morning skate. It's really cool. So yeah, I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Well, you mentioned your studio show, The Point. You've got co-hosts and analysts joining you like Mark Messier, Kevin Weeks, Emily Kaplan, former head coach John Tortorella. What are some of the experiences you've had in working with some pretty unique personalities, but also some people that have set a bunch of records in the NHL?
Yeah, I love it. It's 60-minute hockey show. We've never really had that before, really in the States, outside of NHL Network. And I like all those different personalities, whether it's Torts or Callahan or Messier and Chelios. I like working with the team. I like bringing out the best in people. I like to make them or help them shine and see them shine. So I really enjoy. They're just people. They're just they're just as big. We're just as big a competitor as they were and they are. You played as hard as you could, and I played as hard as I could growing up. And it's just they were a little bit better than we were, and they kept playing. So, but they're in the end they're really just like us, and they love sports. They love hockey, and it's been a real thrill to meet some new people. And for the last 17 years, it's me and Melrose. That's it. So I get some, and back in the day, Ray Ferraro, who's back with us, former LA King. So just to get some, new guys, new relationships. I'd never met Messier, or I'd worked with Chelios at the World Cup. Never met Torts and Callahan. So it's just fun to meet new friends, to become fast friends in this business, and especially in hockey, to become fast friends. So to combine the two, hockey and the business, you just get new people on your cell phone, new people you can text, new group of friends. So it's really, really cool.
Well, you're also calling games. And, I think one of the unique things about being in the arena is it really, becomes evident in some of the trends and seeing it face to face. We've seen how the fourth line has gone from the big fighter to now, the heartbeat of the team and someone who can really change the pace. For you, what have you noticed in some of the trends this year on the ice?
Yeah, that's a great call. They want as much depth scoring as you can get now. All the coaches like to have a third line, checking line, energy line, just a line with a lot of personality. It's almost the new fourth line in a lot of ways, but without the fighter. It's just to really have that matchup line that can also play, because a lot of times, we're talking to Jeff Blashill, and he doesn't really want Dylan Larkin, going up against Alexander Barkov that much. Then that takes away from what he wants Dylan to do. So if they get that third line going, so you could throw them out against Barkov, especially at home when they have the last change, he just feels like that could make them a better team. And he felt like he's slowly figuring out that third line, not only the right components, but also you coach each guy and wait for them to get comfortable. Understand what the coach wants you to do. Maybe do something you didn't realize you could do to help. So yeah, that's the big difference there, is really noticing how the personality of lines change. You really want one big one that's always there. Certainly a secondary one is what separates the good teams and the really good teams. And then, any kind of that bottom six stuff that you can get someone to pop and get hot. And, we saw it with Tampa during their last couple of years, with Cirelli kind of came out of nowhere. And of course they went out and made it. They traded for a third line. They had Gord, but they go out and get Coleman and Goudreau. And that they won 2 cups. They get swept by Columbus. Then they go get Goudreau and Coleman. Then they win 2 cups. That's why that third line I talked about is every team now, I think maybe it's a bit of a in vogue too. It's kind of the flavor of the month, but they realize, boy, that's what we need, a Gord, Coleman, Goudreau line. Yeah, everyone would like to have one of those, but that's what they're searching for, whether they develop it in their system or they go out and get two guys like Coleman and Goudreau and put them with Gord. So that's the big thing that I've noticed. Yeah, a lot more skill. Sometimes the games don't have as much hitting as I'd like. Certainly you rarely see a fight. You know, you need confrontation, you need pushing and shoving and chirping. That's what energizes the game. It gives it personality and conflict.
Well, for anyone who knows you and follows you on Twitter, watches you on TV, they know you're the chicken parm king. It's no longer winner, winner, chicken dinner. It's winner, winner, chicken parm dinner. You've traveled across, all of the world and obviously all of the states covering sports and covering hockey. Where are your top 3 chicken parm places? And do you have a place in LA?
Yeah, nothing set yet in LA. The north end of Boston, there's a couple places there that certainly would probably be 1, 2. Those are great spots. And, it's a meal. It's hard to mess up. They're always usually pretty good. What takes them to the next level, it could be maybe just the pasta, the atmosphere, the people you're with, but it's they're all pretty good. Even Sbarro at the airport probably has decent chicken parm. So it comes down to the cutlet, and of course the sauce is sometimes just magic, tastes like mom's, and the perfect amount and portion. Get a nice little glass of red with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to LA, and I'll start doing some chronicles as I hit the road here. And I did in Buffalo. Buffalo was a really good one. That was a good one. I should start making an album on the phone. Maybe at the year end, I'll make a year end video to some slow song so we can all cry together to all my amazing chicken parm.
Yeah, you absolutely need to start blogging or putting together a little bit of a book or a website. Well, okay, so you don't have a place in LA for chicken parms, but you do have knowledge on the Kings, and you're a big college hockey guy. The Kings have a handful of them, whether it be Trevor Moore, it be Cal Peterson, Mikey Anderson, Alex Iafallo. Of the college hockey group within the LA Kings, who stands out to you as players that are truly making a difference so far in the year, or ones that you expect big things from?
Yeah, that's what's kind of cool about, being away from hockey 17 years. After it left in 2004, I went to ESPN in 2006 and say, hey, can I start doing some college games? We didn't do any regular season games, but we had the regional, the NCAA tournament. So there'd be 4 regions of 4 teams. And then I asked if I could do one region. So that was, it's only 3 games on a weekend, but I started doing that, did that for a few years. And then I had enough guts to ask them, hey, I'd like to do the Frozen Four now. I've been doing it 5 or 6 years. I think I've invested in the sport. I think I'm good for the sport. And I think I'd really give it my all, like no one really has before for college hockey. Most play-by-play guys remember like 3 or 4 players on each team and just kind of talk their way through it. I wanted to really live it. I started the Bucci Main poll on Twitter, really to force myself to do homework, to look at every game, every week, common opponents, really get an idea of the narrative of the season. So when I get to the tournament, I know what's going on. I haven't just started paying attention when the tournament started, which happens a lot in a lot of lower level college sports outside of football and basketball. So I really invested in that. And now, so I've done that the last 8 national championships. So all these, so that's the one cool part that I have stayed connected to the NHL is all those guys are in the NHL now. It's a third of the league played college hockey. So, when I see Alex and when I see Mikey, they know who I am. I know who they are. They stop in the hallway. We talk. I saw Mike Riley, who played at Minnesota for the Bruins. He comes right up and talks to me like and I can ask him a couple of questions, but not even our assigned media, allotment. It's like extra time I get with these guys. And actually, Troy Stetcher, who won a national championship at North Dakota, he's on the Red Wings, and I had the Panther game last Friday, and I went to morning skate, and I'm in the stands. It's really cool to watch the morning skate, as you know. And then Stetcher calls up. He goes, "Hey, Bucci, stick a Grand Forks in them," because that was my call when they won the national championship. Stick a Grand Forks in them. North Dakota is champions, and that stuff's really cool. So yeah, to see Alex play at Duluth and Mikey play at Duluth and Cal at Notre Dame, but I'm really impressed with Iafallo. He's better than I thought he was going to be. He has taken a jump. You can see it this year. And they may have gotten a bargain with that contract. He looks like a guy who could pop in 25 a year for them. His skating's so good. Of course, Mikey was on a wagon for Duluth, and they had national championship defensemen out the yin yang there. So he was on a couple of great teams. I call them. They lose to Denver and Chicago in the national championship game. Then they win 2 in a row. So they were in 3 straight title games. The team of the decade, really last decade. So yeah, I really get a kick out of the college guys. I think it's a good route for development. You only play twice a week. You can lift weights the rest of the week, work on your skill, work on your shot, tend to be late bloomers. And so, but I'm really impressed with Alex. I'm looking forward to seeing him play Friday night.
You mentioned Mikey Anderson, and, unfortunately, Drew Doughty went down with an injury and he's out for, a month and a half to 2 months. Mikey was his D partner. He's now playing with another young guy, Tobias Bjornfoot. Off to a great start between the two, very active and two-way defensemen who have really started to assert themselves into, being in the play more offensively. Do you see that as a more common trend, not only in the younger defensemen, but between those two as a duo?
Yeah, for sure. It is about smarts and speed and skating, acceleration. I look at someone like Matt Grzelcyk of the Bruins, who went to BU, an amazing skater, just one man breakup, boom, 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 gone. And then someone like Adam Fox, who isn't a great elite skater, but he's just so smart, know when's to come into play. I think Mikey can kind of look at someone like him and, time your rush. When you're the 5th man in, 4th man in, don't get there too fast sometimes. Try to time it perfectly. That's what Adam does. He times it and plays at his pace and sees the game a different way. I think there's opportunity. Some guys play so fast out of their minds. The slower guy has a chance to find when the guys go too far or they go flybys and they get out of position, they can then kind of think the game and play it differently at their pace. And that's where I think somewhere like Mikey, as he gets better and the game slows down, he'll start seeing that, and less is more. And so I'm looking forward again, seeing him playing. It's always better in person when you're at the rink and as opposed to on TV. And obviously the last time I saw Mikey play in person, he won a national championship. So it's going to be fun to watch this Friday.
Well, hopefully we'll get you back in town more so we can have you in the building when Mikey continues to help the team win. But
I love it.
College hockey connoisseur, chicken parm king, we look forward to having you back out in LA to call some games, and hopefully we can find you a chicken parm place as well. Thanks for coming on.
I'll hit the Google. I'm doing the point actually from our LA studio Thursday. So it's pretty cool. I'll do the point on Thursday from our LA studio and then do the game on Friday. So it's going to be an awesome couple of days in LA.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you. Thanks, Bucci.
Peace.